Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jay and this is Vroom Vroom. Part 2 on the Ducati. The first video, I really felt the love of the community. It was brilliant with some fantastic comments and suggestions. And yeah, some of them worked out really well. Got to say a big thank you to Mike, Super Jabs, Mr. McTavish, Michael was brilliant, and Luddite. He was all brilliant, gave some excellent suggestions, and you'll see in the video how some of these suggestions came along. So enjoy the video. Right, so as I mentioned in the other video, because I'd done the voiceover after the video was completed, I didn't see this, which is a rather nasty little hole in the crankcase state aside. So there's nothing to be done here apart from get it off. I've got two choices. I'm going to have a look at the part number, but these seem to be, I've already had a little bit of a look, quite hard to find second hand. So I have got a guy down the road called Dave, and he is a brilliant welder. So I'm going to take this off, have a look at the numbers on the inside. If I can't find it easily, then we're going to go on a little trip to Dave's house. So let's see how this bit goes. Just to start with, there's my gear linkage, and as you can see with my Sharpie, I've marked it in several different places just to make sure it goes back on the same place. You don't have to do it, but it does make it a lot easier and stops you having to fiddle about adjusting it later on, so it is recommended. So this looks quite easy. Weirdly enough, that looks like the clutch safe cylinder, so it must be a rod that goes through to the other side of the engine. And I'm not sure if I can take it apart with that on, or I have to take it off first, and then it looks quite simple. Just Allen bolts all the way around, and then we'll pop it off. So yeah, let's dig into this. I'm gonna get some tools, and we will get busy. Did forget, the first thing I've got to do is drain the oil, because I did put oil back in there, and when I did start it and run it, there was enough oil, and I didn't have an oil light, so I didn't cause any more damage doing that. But yeah, I need to get the oil out now because it's going to be just below that level. And even though it's been in my garage now for a couple of days, it hasn't leaked in the oil, so it's kind of at that point. Well, there's a drip or two. That's it. Right, so I am actually still draining the oil. I did have to search for a little bit because the yes, you need one of them. Right, so you need one of them. So I'm going to take the gear leakage off now. Which is no big deal. There we go. Yeah. Always remembering to put the bolts back so we know where they are. And yes, it did need to come off. And it's slightly crudded up, not too bad though, so we'll just put that to one side. And I think that push rod should probably go through to the other side. I'm surprised it's so close to the chain. But here's what it is. Right, yeah, there was quite a lot of gunk around there, but you expect that anyway. So I think we're ready. I don't know if that's come off, but I think we're loosening it, see if it comes off. What am I doing with now? Right, that looks like every bolt done, so I'm gonna go and get my sledgehammer. Not really. Nice stinky rubber one. Well, this is frustrating. I've got pullers, but I've got nothing that'll do that, and I've just had a look online, and I mean they're 15 quid, but I still feel like I'm getting mugged for 15 quid. But there's no way of doing it really without causing a lot of damage, and I do want to try and save this side if possible, so I've got no choice. I'm gonna have to just pack it in for today and come back to you once I've got the new part. But I suppose I might be able to use it on other things, I don't know. We'll just have to see, but it's 15 quid, so let's just get it ordered and get on with this, because I want to get this running better. So the special tools arrived. Once again, I've just checked around just to make sure that there aren't any bolts I'm missing, because that would be catastrophic. So let's tighten this up now a little bit and see what happens. That was so easy. So easy to oil start it all at the bottom. And already inside the stator looks good. So what I need to do now is just come around and have a look. And the hole's up there. You can just see it there. But everything else looks perfect on this side. I'm really good. So nothing to worry about there. Let's get this case down to my mate Dave, and we'll see if he can weld it. So just a quick look with a bit off the bike, you can see clearly there the bit that's caused the issue. So yep, down to the welders. I've kind of taken my time on this, but it is time to get the this back together now with the side plate renewed and all of the faces that are going to be mated up together cleaned. It looks sparkling, doesn't it? I'm just going to Loctite the bolts in now for the stator, and then run a bead of sealant around that beautifully clean cover. So right, let's just crack on. So I've got the instant gasket all the way around it now. I'm just waiting for it to cure for about 15 minutes before I put it on. And yeah, probably gone a bit too generous with it, but well, it'll be alright. So that's that. When that's done, I can start messing about trying to get the bloody bolts in the right place, because I've kicked them several times since I've took them out, but hopefully I won't be too bad. The push rod goes from the one side of the engine to the other, as I mentioned in the first video, and some people said it was a nightmare to get out and to put back, so I think I've been very lucky with this one. So we'll stick that on, we'll leave it overnight, and then tomorrow we'll put some oil in it and see what happens from there. So yeah, this come back in 15 minutes and stick some bolts in. the cover's back on, and I've torqued the bolts up to 9 Newton meters. Just putting the slave cylinder back on. The push rod's gone back in, and that was okay. I found a home for all of the bolts, which is really good. So it's a case now of I still need to change the broken gear lever, but I've got one here, which was an inexpensive part. I paid 40 quid for that. I went for one that was a little bit more upgraded. So yes, that's it. I'm going to get the final bits back on, and then we'll take it from there. But happy so far, and I'll do a bit more recording now. Right, so I haven't done a lot of videoing today, but I will do next time. This part is actually done. The slave cylinder's back on. The new gear shift is in, even though I did have to adjust it slightly. And we are ready for oil, but that will have to be tomorrow once my instant gasket goes off. So we'll leave that to then. What I will do, and remember to do tonight, is to stick this back on the trickle charge, just so that's not a frustrating wait tomorrow. So yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Right, quick update on this. The oil wasn't leaked out, which is always a good thing, and the new batteries arrived. So I'm going to fit the new battery now and put the tank back on with all of the covers, etc. You saw me took it off, so I'm not going to go through that again. So next time you see me, this will be back together. Well, the bike's made leaps and bounds towards being put back on the road yesterday. The battery, do you know what? I had this hooked up to a trickle charger, and when the battery came yesterday, because I still thought the battery was knackered, then noticed that the leads that I saw going to the battery, which I thought were connected to the to the trickle charger, weren't in fact, and they had been disconnected. So all of the time I was trickle charging and nothing, and the battery was probably okay, but it's got a new battery now in it, so it doesn't really matter. I bled the front brakes, and they've come up really well. I've got a really good brake there on the front. I really did struggle with the slave cylinder for the clutch, and it took a lot of work to get pressure back into that system. It was just, yeah, it just took ages, and I had to try a couple of different ways to get the pressure back in it. But touch wood now. I haven't tried it today actually, but yeah, that's a decent lever there. Yeah, pressure's there, and on the front, yep, good. So what I really do need is a rear brake. Now, some of you in the comments have been brilliant with this, saying take it off, turn it upside down, the bleed nipples on the bottom, and it's, you know, there's some great advice there. I am going to just try the traditional way first of all, just to see if I can get pressure back, and it's the easiest way without me having to take the bottom caliper off, if I can get to that bleed nipple, which might be an issue in itself, because it's it might be easier actually getting to it from this side, but we'll see. And I'll chuck a I've got a non-return bleeder, so that will help that, hopefully. The thinking behind that is quite simple. The brake fluid is the brake fluid on the back is still full. This bike went over while it was still running, so you've got to assume it had a back brake at the time. What people tend to do when they're coming off a bike is push and squeeze and tuck everything in as hard as possible. So it is possible that they've broken the rear master cylinder by pressing down on it excessively, but yeah, I don't really think that's going to happen. You can move bits about, like the pin in the front, in the clutch master there, it was not quite in alignment as well. It was one of the issues. And then as far as the running goes, the front bulb has gone, the normal the normal the running beam. The headlight has gone, but full beam's fine, so I need to just check that out and make sure that's before I buy a new bulb, that it's not just a wiring issue. Then yeah, it's still noisy as hell, and I still am of the opinion it needs a clutch, even though it does feel a lot better now than it did before. And I'm still going to run it about a bit just to see if that noise subsides with a little bit of use. But my biggest fear is, yeah, it went over on its left hand side, the engine was running, the clutch was running dry, and maybe that bearing at the back of the clutch basket was starved of oil, and that's what's causing the noise. But I'm not overly fussed with that at the moment. The clutch is working, and it's okay. And then of course there's the front fork to do, the front fork seals, but that's another easy job. But first things first, I need brakes, engine running, bike usable, which is now just a case of just trying to get that back pedal done. So disconnect up a pipe and see if we can move any kind of fluid through that bleed nipple. So that was one of those where it was worth a try, and it really was, because it has told me a lot about the back brake. I'm still not getting enough of a pedal, or any pedal, without pumping it. So pumping suggests air in the system, as we all know, and I've been warned about these being notoriously difficult to bleed. So the next step will be to get the back caliper off, flip it upside down, and have a look there. Also, it'll give me a chance to just check the pads and stuff, and just do a general assessment on the back. So that's the next step, and let's jump into that. But in the meantime, I'm going to go now, ring my insurance company and actually get insured on this, because that's how confident I am that it'll be ready to go very soon. So that's it for this video. The clutch is really noisy, and I've got the new one now. I've got it. So I'm going to start changing it, and that will be in the next video. Yeah, there are still issues. It's the low revs. It's pinking and missing a bit, especially when you first start out. Like the choke's not working properly. So I need to get the airbox off, have a look, make sure the lines are okay going to it, vacuum lines, etc., and see if we can sort that out. Also, someone's mentioned a HT lead fraying on the frame, which could be an issue as well. So yeah, it's still lots to do. I've had the plugs out and they looked all right. So until next time, please like and subscribe if you can do, and I'll see you soon. Take care, guys.